AITA for locking out 20 entitled relatives who crashed my vacation home uninvited? My name is Megan, and almost 3 years ago I bought a vacation cabin up in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. It is not a mansion or anything, but to me it was perfect. Woods, cold air, cozy fireplace, silence, and a decent internet signal, which is what I need because I work remotely as an app developer. Honestly, I am not one of those people who are dying to socialize. In my family, I was always the quiet one. My older brother Brian was the one who got all the applause, the athlete, the favorite. He married his high school girlfriend Melissa, and they have 2 kids, Connor, who is already in elementary school, and Grace, who is still little. My younger sister Ashley was the popular one. She married her college boyfriend Justin, and they have Zoe, who is the youngest. My parents Patricia and Robert are already retired, but they still have that habit of wanting to direct everyone's lives just like when we were kids. I mean, they do not ask you, they inform you. When I told them about the new house, I saw something in their eyes that gave me a bad feeling, as if a light bulb had turned on. A house in the woods near the snow, my mom said, clasping her hands, super excited. Perfect, you are going to host Christmas this year. Me, I said with my coffee mug in my hands, already feeling the stress. I do not know, Mom, it is not that big and I am not equipped to be hosting people. My dad chimed in immediately. Do not start with your nonsense. It will be good for you to have company. You spend all your time alone with your computer. Brian nodded as if it were medical advice. The kids are going to be happy. We are going to go play in the snow. It will be great. I tried to get out of it, but they ganged up on me with the argument they always use. It is family. And well, after overthinking it for a couple of weeks, I accepted. I told myself just this once, it is no big deal, maybe it will even feel nice. As December approached, I got swamped with work. For me, that season is heavy because everyone wants their apps ready before the chaos of gifts, downloads, and releases begins. Between meetings, corrections, and deliveries, I already knew I was not going to have time to cook what my mom considers a real dinner. The day before they arrived, I gave up. I called a local caterer that put together a Christmas package. Roasted turkey, glazed ham, mashed potatoes, stuffing, green bean casserole, cranberry sauce, rolls, salad, and pies for dessert. The typical holiday stuff, but well done. It cost me around $700 and it hurt to pay for it. I do well at my job, yes, but not well enough to be supporting 9 people. Even so, I preferred that over going without sleep from cooking and working at the same time. The day they arrived, it was like watching a moving company. They parked in a row in my driveway and started unloading suitcases, gifts, jackets, boots, plastic sleds, backpacks, and kids running around as if it were a park. My mom was the first to lunge at me. She hugged me tight, one of those hugs that almost bend you in half. Oh, Megan, what a beautiful thing. She looked around as if she were evaluating the place. You really live here all by yourself? I smiled, but inside my alarm for too many people had already gone off. Yes, Mom, come on in. I will show you around quickly. The guided tour lasted 5 minutes, literally. 3 bedrooms, one I turned into an office with a desk, 2 monitors, and an armchair. The other 2, well, for sleeping. That meant several of them were going to end up on air mattresses and sofa beds. My mom did not even wait for me to finish talking. And the Christmas dinner, she said, going into the kitchen and opening the cupboards. Do not tell me you have not started, really. I ordered a package from a caterer. I tried to sound calm. They are bringing it tomorrow morning. My mom's face dropped as if I had told her there was not going to be a Christmas. Restaurant food on Christmas, she said, offended. Megan, please, Mom. I have been up to my neck in work. I did not have the time. She interrupted me with that little I know better voice. A good hostess makes time. When I hosted Christmas, I would start days in advance. I stayed quiet. Why argue with her? She has always treated my job as if it were a hobby, as if I were playing on the computer and not paying my mortgage. The dinner, to be honest, turned out better than I expected. Even though my mom made faces, everyone ate. Brian went back for seconds on the ham. Melissa finished the green bean casserole. The kids stuffed themselves with rolls and dessert. There were toasts, photos, and leftovers planned from minute 1. Then came the gifts. I had spent weeks looking for things for everyone because I am one of those people who gets really into it, honestly. I bought Brian a new gaming console around $500. For Melissa, a nice purse, the kind she shows off, around $300. I bought Ashley and Justin a decorative piece for their living room, because according to them they are very mature adults now, for around $200. The kids got the exact toys they asked for, between $50 and $100 each, and for my parents I went all out. A weekend at a nice resort in Vail with breakfast included, for around $800. When it was my turn to open mine, they gave me one package from everyone. Inside was a scarf, some socks, and a mug that said, "The best aunt in the world." "It is from all of us," my mom said very happily. "We chipped in together. It feels nicer that way." "Thank you," I said, smiling with my mouth, not with my heart, because I am not materialistic, but you can tell. And I did think to myself, what they all spent together does not even amount to what I spent on a single gift. But I held it in. I told myself, it is Christmas. Do not make a scene. The following days were chaos. The kids used my house as a racetrack. They ran up and down the stairs. They spilled juice on the rug, left toys everywhere. The adults would head out to the snow in the morning and return in the afternoon hungry and cold, expecting food as if there were a cook. And the worst part, I kept paying for everything. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks, coffee, bread. No one ever said, "I will pitch in." No one ever said, "I will wash." The dishes piled up. Wet towels ended up on the bathroom floor. Muddy boots in the entryway. And whenever I tried to sit down and work for a bit, there was always something. One day my dad peeked into my office. I had my laptop open trying to finish a delivery. "Megan, there is no more coffee," he announced as if it were an emergency. "There is a convenience store down the road," I answered without looking up. "And the supermarket is further back toward Denver. It is a bit of a detour." "Well, yeah, but we do not know the area," he complained. "And we are already getting ready to go out." I looked at him in his new thermal pants, the ones I had given him, standing there waiting for me to solve it. "I will go when I finish this part," I said. "No, the thing is we want coffee before we leave." I closed my laptop, put on a jacket, and left. Between the interstate, holiday traffic, and the line at the store, a good amount of time went by. I came back with coffee, sugar, bread, and even milk. While they laughed and got ready to go have fun, no one even said thank you or offered to go with me. By New Year's, I was already destroyed. I had not had a moment alone in a week, and my bank account was already feeling thin from so much spending. "This has been incredible," my mom said during the midnight toast. "We should do this every year." I almost choked. The next morning they left, and they left just as they arrived, leaving everything behind. Not a single bed made, not a single plate washed, not a single trash bag tied up. They hugged me, gave me kisses. "Thanks for everything." And they drove off. When I closed the door, my house looked like a hurricane had passed through. I stood in the living room looking at scattered toys and half-used glasses. And the only thing I thought was, never again. A year passed. My work kept me busy, and honestly I was happy with the silence. My parents called once in a while for my birthday or some holiday, but no one mentioned Christmas. I even thought they forgot. Blessed be. Until exactly 2 weeks before Christmas, my cell phone rang. "Megan," my mom said with that overly cheerful voice, the one she uses when she has already decided something. "I am calling to tell you that this year we are going to spend Christmas over there again." I felt my stomach drop. "Mom, hold on," I tried to say. "It is all set, my love. I will give you the details later." And she hung up. I stood there looking at my phone like a fool. I spent days thinking about whether to tell them no, whether to play sick, whether to make up a trip, but I did what I always do. Swallowed my anger and got ready. And that was my mistake, because I never put a stop to them to their faces. I just kept it to myself like always. I moved meetings, got ahead on work, bought groceries, cleaned, mentally prepared myself. I was counting on them arriving on the 23rd to have dinner on the 24th and wake up here on the 25th. A week before that date, I got a message from Ashley. "We are heading out now. We will arrive in the afternoon for dinner." I almost dropped my mug. I called my parents immediately. "What do you mean you are heading out now? I am not expecting you until the 23rd, I said. "Well, the kids got out of school early," my mom replied as if it were a gift. "And everyone adjusted their schedules. How exciting, right? This way we have more time together." "Mom, I have work." I had everything planned. Oh honey, always with the same thing. You work from home, it is not like you have to punch a time clock, she said, belittling me. Besides, it is good that we are early to help you. Hours later, already at night, my driveway was full of cars again. Between leaving the city late, hitting traffic on the interstate up to the mountains, and stopping for gas and bathroom breaks, half a lifetime passed them by. When they arrived, my house turned into noise again. My mom walked in first, gave me a quick hug, and immediately started looking at the living room. And the decorations? She asked with that "what a shame for you" face. I was going to put them up over the weekend because you were not going to arrive until next week, I explained. She clicked her tongue. Well, it is a good thing we are early, this way we can help you. The help was her sitting on the couch telling me where to put the string lights and the nativity scene while I went up and down with boxes. The kids were already sprawled out with toys on the floor I had just mopped. And then came the classic. There is nothing to eat, my mom announced at 5 in the afternoon. Mom, I was not expecting anyone today. I can make something in an hour. No, we are going to order something. We are visiting, she said. And she was already grabbing her phone. I ended up giving her my card so a fight would not break out. I told her, just the basics please. I already spent a lot this week. She patted my cheek as if I were 12. Do not think about money during these dates, honey. Family is what matters. 2 hours later she came back with bags of prepared food, snacks, and 3 expensive bottles of wine. She accidentally showed me the receipt and a cold anger washed over me. Mom, this is too much. When I am visiting, I like to enjoy myself, she answered me as if it were obvious. Besides, in my house I never rest. It is always cooking and cleaning. I felt like screaming at her. Well, you are not cleaning here either. But I held it in again. Christmas arrived and I ordered the full package from the caterer again. This year it cost me more, around $900, because everything went up. Everyone was happy. Photos, social media stories. So delicious, so cozy, what a beautiful place. Then the gift exchange. I racked my brain once again. For Brian, I bought a drone he had been saying he wanted for months, around $600. For Melissa, some brand name winter boots, around $250. For Ashley, a spa package, around $300. For Justin, a nice watch, around $350. For the kids, the exact toys from their letters, another $300 combined. And for my parents, I went all out again. A weekend at a mountain resort with a jacuzzi and breakfast, for around $1,200. When it was my turn, they gave me a medium-sized box. It is from everyone, Ashley said very proudly. Inside was a coffee maker, a regular little coffee maker, the kind you find on sale. And the price tag was half peeled off on the bottom. We chipped in, Ashley explained. Since we know you love coffee. I clenched my jaw because not only did I already have a coffee maker, they had been using it all week. But I swallowed the comment and smiled. Thank you, I said. And later that night, while everyone was lounging in the living room watching movies and drinking wine, I was alone washing dishes. There were dirty dishes everywhere, food scraps on the counter, crumbs. I had been at it for almost an hour and my back hurt. Ashley came in for another glass, turned around and casually blurted out, "Wow, what a mess." "Yes," I said, hoping she would take the hint. Not even close. She poured her wine and said, "My mom wants to know if there is any chocolate cake left from yesterday." I dried my hands with the towel and looked at her. "Ashley, can you help me with the dishes? Seriously, enough is enough. I have been cleaning everything myself." She looked at me all week as if I had asked her to pay me rent. "Honestly, Megan," she said, "I am visiting. I came to rest. Am I visiting in my own house too, or what?" I answered without being able to stop myself. I was supposed to work and rest, but I have spent days half working, paying for everything and cleaning. She rolled her eyes. "It is your house. You cannot expect guests to clean." "I can expect my family to cooperate," I said, my voice already shaking with anger. "Especially if they arrive whenever they want, stay as long as they want, and do not pitch in a single dime." Ashley pursed her lips. "I am going to get my mom right now." Minutes later, they both walked in with indignant faces, as if I had insulted someone. "What is wrong with you, Megan?" my mom said. Ashley tells me you are pressuring her to clean. I just asked for help, I said. We are only visiting, my mom repeated firmly. We came here to spend time together, not to be washing dishes. Well, how great, I said. I am washing and working. My mom looked at me with those I am in charge eyes. If you did not want to host, you should not have said yes. New Year's arrived and I was already counting the hours until they left. I just could not take it anymore. I was super behind on work, in a bad mood with the house in total chaos, and my credit card burning up. And then at dinner my dad said as if he were delivering good news, "We are having such a great time that we talked about it and we are going to stay another 2 weeks." I froze. What do you mean 2 more weeks? I said. That was not planned. I have deadlines, I have work. My mom did not even let me finish. Oh, Megan, you are so dramatic, she said. What is the big deal? You make apps on your computer. That can wait. Family cannot. Right then I felt my face burn. The 2 extra weeks were hell. Every day my mom asked for money for food. We are going to eat well because we are visiting, she kept repeating. My dad spent all his time out. He only came back to eat and sleep. Brian and Ashley barely watched the kids, who were already desperate, cooped up, fighting over everything. I tried to program with background noise, yelling the TV doors, laughter. I would tell them, I need silence for a while. And they would answer me as if I were being a snob. One day my boss Kevin called me directly. Megan, is everything okay? He said. You have not answered emails and the client is starting to get pushy about the deadlines. I locked myself in the bathroom to talk because it was the only place where you could not hear the TV. Sorry, Kevin, I said quietly. I have a family situation, everything piled up on me. I understand, but this is urgent, he replied. Can you get back on track by Friday? Yes, I said, although deep down I knew that meant staying up late like crazy when everyone went to sleep. That night I went into my office with coffee and a grumpy face. I had barely been at it for 10 minutes when I heard the door. I turned around and saw Connor standing next to my desk, his hand already reaching for the mouse. Can we play? He asked casually. No. Slipped out louder than I wanted it to. I stood up abruptly. That is my work equipment. It has important things. But we are bored, Grace complained, peeking out from behind him. Where are your parents? I asked. My grandma told us to find something quiet to do, Connor answered, glued to the screen. I took a deep breath. This is no place to play. Go to your mom, someone has to be watching you. They dragged their feet out and I locked the door. 15 minutes later there was a loud knock. Megan, open up. It was Ashley. I opened it and there she was with the 2 kids behind her, looking like I was the bad guy. They say you yelled at them, she demanded. I did not yell at them, I said, even though I had raised my voice. I told them they cannot use my work computer. If they delete something, if they download something, if a virus gets in, I lose weeks of work. Ashley rolled her eyes. Oh, please, drama queen. They just wanted to play. Then put something on for them in the living room, I told her. Or take them outside or watch them yourself. Do not send them to me when I am working. Ashley got tough. You know what, Megan? That is why you are alone. You have no idea what it is to be a mom. We cannot just lock ourselves away when something bothers us. And right then, without thinking, I blurted out what I had been holding in. No, what you do is leave your kids for others to watch and call it a vacation. I snapped at her. Ashley stood there with her mouth open, red with anger. Oh, fine, she said. She turned around and left, pulling the kids by the hand. I knew that was going to blow up in my face. And sure enough, at dinner the atmosphere was extremely weird. No one was talking. Even the kids were calmer, as if they could smell the fight. My mom broke the silence. Megan, Ashley told us what you said to her today. She looked straight at me. You owe her an apology. That was not what I said, I started. She works very hard as a mom, Ashley chimed in. And you come here saying I do not do anything. I said that you cannot expect me to watch your kids while I am working, I answered her. That is all. My dad let out a sigh, like he was tired of me. You do not understand how tiring it is to be a parent. Ashley took advantage. You have no responsibilities. You only look out for yourself. I looked at them one by one, and that was when something inside me snapped. I have no responsibilities, I said slowly. I pay for this house. I pay for my life. I work to support myself. And apparently, I am also responsible for feeding and housing all of you almost until mid-January without any help. Here she goes again, Ashley said with a mocking face. The victim. I am not a victim, I said, my voice now breaking. I am fed up. Fed up with my work being treated as if it were a game. Fed up with you arriving whenever you want. Fed up with paying for everything. Fed up with cleaning what no one picks up. Fed up with my house being your hotel. The table went mute. I was hoping, even if just by inertia, that someone would say, all right, let us cooperate. But nobody did, just awkward glances. You know what? I said, standing up. I do not understand what it is to be a mom. You are right, but you guys also do not understand what it is to have your house invaded, to be demanded of, to be worn down, and to still be told that you are the bad guy. There are leftovers in the fridge if anyone wants some. I am going to work. I locked myself in my office. I could hear the TV laughter every now and then, the clinking of glasses. A part of me wanted to go out and fake it to be the cool aunt, but the other part just kept thinking, let them leave, let them leave. Finally, their extended vacation ended. They packed up the cars, completely full again. I stood on the porch with a weird mix of feelings. Relief but also sadness. Because in the end they are my family. My mom was the last to hug me. It was very nice, Megan, she told me. But she immediately added, like someone who cannot help it. Although you could have been kinder. To be honest, several of us were left disappointed with your attitude. I pulled back a little, not believing it. Disappointed with me? Well, yes, she said. All that complaining about cleaning, about the food, about the kids. We are family, Megan. Family supports each other. And then she blurted out what hurt her the most. Because that is the way it is. You made me look bad in front of everyone. I opened my mouth to argue and closed it. I already knew it would not do any good. They do not see their part, they only see mine. Have a good trip back, I said dryly. They left. I closed the door, leaned against it, and felt the silence like a rest in my chest. I could even hear the kitchen clock, and honestly, life without that drama was delicious. My work settled down, I did well, I got a raise, and I went back to enjoying my house, my actual house, until 2 months before Christmas my notifications started blowing up. It was Ashley uploading photos of the kids in jackets in a snowy mountain area with the caption, "Getting ready for our annual Christmas trip to Aunt Megan's house." My heart raced. I went into the comments and almost had a heart attack. Aunts, uncles, cousins, people I never even saw. It is a tradition now. We are definitely going this year. Save us a spot. So jealous. What a great plan. See you in December. With trembling hands, I called my mom. Mom, we need to talk about Christmas. I blurted out as soon as she answered. Oh, Megan, she squealed, happy. I was just going to call you. I have great news. What? Well, since last year was so beautiful, I mentioned it at your cousin Hannah's wedding and now the whole family wants to go. Not just us, also your Uncle Gary and your Aunt Susan, their kids, your grandmother Rose, and some of your dad's cousins, like 20 people. She laughed as if it were a joke. Is it not incredible? I lost my breath. I wanted to tell her no, not even to dream about it, but before I could, she hung up just like that, as always, deciding for me. I stood looking at my cell phone with a rage that was no longer "this bothers me." It was "I have been used." I logged into my social media and wrote it exactly as it was, no sugarcoating. Announcement. This Christmas I am not hosting anyone at my house. No one is invited. Please make other plans. I posted it. Turned off my phone. I went for a walk in the woods for a good while to let my anger subside. When I came back and looked at my phone, I froze. They were not mad, they were dying of laughter. Haha, Megan. Always so dramatic. You are unbelievable, we will crash there anyway. So funny. See you in December. You are joking, right? That was when I decided. If they did not understand words, they were going to understand actions. I went grocery shopping for myself, nothing meant for 20 people. Then I called a security company and requested the installation of cameras around the house and a doorbell camera. It cost me around $400, but I paid it gladly. They left everything connected to my phone. Motion sensors, doorbell, recording. I also spoke with my closest neighbors, the ones with vacation homes. I started with Mr. Peterson, the man across the street, because he is always keeping an eye out. Hey, Mr. Peterson, if you see unusual movement or a commotion, do not be alarmed. It is family, but they are not invited. It sounded ugly to say, but it was the truth. And I waited. A week before Christmas, I saw through the cameras how a caravan of cars entered my driveway. 1, 2, 3, a ton of them. They got out as if they were arriving at a party. Suitcases, gifts, coolers, jackets, bags. My parents were there. Brian with Melissa, Ashley with Justin, the kids, and a bunch of people I barely recognized. Aunts, uncles, cousins. Even my grandmother Rose with her thick sweater and her purse hanging on her shoulder. They rang the doorbell. I did not open. They knocked again, louder. I stayed in silence, watching the screen with my heart pounding in my throat. My dad called me. Megan, we are here. Open up. I answered him calmly. I told you many times that I was not going to host anyone. You decided to come anyway. What do you mean no? He got upset. Your mom is here. Your grandmother is here. There are children. And yet you still came without an invitation, I said. I am not going to open the door. I hung up and put my phone on silent. Through the cameras I could see them huddled together, cold with faces of disbelief. My mom was waving her hands, yelling, complaining. Ashley was trying to calm the kids who were already starting to cry. Brian pressed himself against the door, as if he were going to knock it down. The doorbell did not stop for about 20 minutes, and then I saw something that made me grab my phone immediately. The kids were making snowballs from the slush and leftover snow that had stayed on the ground, and they were throwing them at my windows, dying of laughter. I called Ashley. Ashley, tell your kids to stop throwing snowballs at my house. They are playing. She snapped at me in a bad mood. If you would open the door, we would not be out here. There are cameras recording everything. I cut her off. If they break a window, I am going to file a police report and hold you responsible for the damages. She stayed quiet for a second and then I heard adults yelling, "Stop, stop, stop." And the kids stopped, but the commotion continued. And right then the neighbors peeked out. Through the cameras, I saw Mr. Peterson approach calmly but firmly. He spoke to them with that voice of someone who is fed up with seeing noisy people. A few minutes later he called me. Megan, he told me. Your family says you left them outside. Is everything okay? Yes, Mr. Peterson, I answered him. I told them not to come and they came. I am not going to let them in. There was a short silence. Look, they are making a lot of noise. If they do not calm down or leave, someone is going to end up calling the police for a disturbance. Just letting you know. Thank you, Mr. Peterson, I said. I understand. I hung up and stayed listening to the doorbell's audio. I heard clearly when Mr. Peterson told them, "This is private property. If Megan does not want to host you, that is her right and you are bothering everyone. You had better go find somewhere to stay before this gets worse." The looks on my family's faces were straight out of a movie. They could not believe it. As if it had never crossed their minds that their plan could fail. They gathered around to argue right there in the cold with kids crying, with my mom erupting like a volcano. And in the end, furiously, they started loading everything back into the cars. When the last car left, I stayed watching the screen for a while with a sick stomach, but with a strange peace. The next day, Ashley uploaded a video crying on social media. She said that I had abandoned the family on Christmas, that I left kids out in the cold, that I was a bad daughter, a bad sister, a bad everything. And of course a ton of people believed her. Ugly comments, indignant aunts, cousins saying, "What a shame." Even people from school writing, "I did not expect that from you." I did not reply, I did not defend myself, I did not explain, because the truth is they never listen when I said it calmly. Why would they listen now? Instead of that, I invited 2 close friends and a friend from work. Nothing big. We cooked something simple together. Pasta, salad, bread, wine. We talked, played board games, laughed. No one left dirty plates lying around, no one demanded anything. No one made me feel small. It was the most peaceful Christmas I have had in years. The following months were silent. There was no call from my mom on my birthday. There were no messages from Brian, no pictures of the kids, nothing. Officially, I became the black sheep, the cruel daughter, the stuck-up sister who broke tradition. And I am going to tell you something that might sound ugly, but it is the truth. I liked it. It hurt me. Yes, because it is not easy to accept that your family sees you as the help. But it was also an enormous relief. Maybe someday they will understand that setting boundaries is not hate, that family does not mean showing up unannounced, demanding things, spending your money, taking over your house, and on top of that calling you ungrateful. Maybe someday they will see it, and if not, I am fine too, because in the end that house became mine again. My time became mine again, my life became mine again. Comment. I wanted to share some thoughts with you after reflecting on this story. Setting clear boundaries with family is one of the bravest things we can do. It's not about rejecting people, but about honoring your own needs and limits. I believe protecting your peace is a powerful form of self-respect. You don't have to feel guilty for choosing what is right for your well-being. Taking responsibility for your own happiness helps you show up better in every relationship. True kindness always includes being kind to yourself first. Healing often starts when we learn to value our own time and energy. I hope this encourages you to reflect on the boundaries you need in your life. You truly deserve a home and a life that feels calm and respectful. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.